Good evening. This is the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees meeting, June 11, 2020. As a preliminary matter, this is Matthew Toth, Chair of the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Nan Johnson?
Yes.
Jennifer Shea?
Yes.
Paula Melican?
Yes.
Mary DeCourcy? Suzette Dowd?
Yes.
Okay. Are you caller one?
I think
Suzette?
so. Yes.
Yes.
Caller one.
Okay, we cannot see you, but caller one is Suzette Dowd. Okay, the APL staff, when I call your name, please respond to the affirmative. Jean Collins? I can't hear you, Jean.
Yes, I forgot to turn my microphone on.
Okay.
Yes.
David Wood? Okay, no. Molly Helser? No. Okay. And Chris from the Auburn Cable is on. And I'll call Mary DeCourcy's name, part of the Board of Trustees. Available, on. Mary? Mary? I can see you, Mary, but I can't hear you. Mary? Mary,
I don't think she can hear us.
We can't hear you. Mary, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
No.
Now we
Now you on now? Mary, can I confirm that you're present? Mary? Can I confirm that you're present?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I can. Okay,
Sorry.
thank
I can't hear
you.
anything.
Good evening. Okay. This open meeting of the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth, given the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment, even if members of the public do not provide comment. Participants are advised that people may be listening who do not provide comment, and those persons are not required to identify themselves. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. The first thing I need to do is to call the meeting to order at 6:03. A motion?
I make a motion that we call the
Paula?
meeting to order.
And I second.
A sec? Mary, okay, now it's important for me to read a message to the Board of Trustees through Julie from Town Council Bob Hennigan. Since last week's meeting was not available to the public or recorded due to an error with the GoToMeeting link that appeared on the posted agenda, as mistakenly another GoToMeeting was set up and provided only to the Board of Trustee members. The new meeting set up and provided to BOT members only was different from the posted link. Therefore, the BOT should meet again this week, is meeting this week, to retake all votes taken last week. Any votes or possible votes to be taken must be on the posted agenda, which they are. Attorney Hennigan also suggested that the Board of Trustees state that meeting notes were drafted last week before the BOT realized that the meeting was not accessible to the public, and the BOT should review those notes at the June 11th meeting today and attach them to the June 11th meeting minutes as the record of the discussion that took place last week. When the BOT files the minutes of the June 11th meeting, today's meeting, the notes of the June 3rd meeting will be a part of that record. Okay, the first vote that we will retake will be for the Board of Trustees reorganization. Is there a motion for a chair?
I motion for Matt Toth to be the chair.
I'll second.
Who seconded that?
Nan?
Nan did.
Dan? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a motion. Are there any other nominations?
No.
Okay. Any discussion? Then we'll take a roll call vote. Suzette?
Yes.
Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to nominate someone for vice chair?
I nominate Suzette Dowd.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Paula? Is there any other nomination? Any discussion? Okay, well, I'll go through the vote on this. Suzette?
Yes.
Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes.
Okay.
Who am I missing?
Is there a motion for a nominee for the clerk position?
I nominate Jennifer Lee.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, Suzette. Any other nominations? Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, Suzette?
Yes.
Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion for the position of treasurer?
I motion for Paula.
I second that motion.
Okay, let me. Jen, was that, did you make that motion?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Mary seconded
Suzette?
it.
Okay.
Yep.
Who, are there any other nominations? Any discussion? Okay, I'll take the roll call vote on this. Suzette?
Yes.
Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We can now take the vote on the May 13th minutes
Okay.
that we took last time. I don't know. There was only, I made one amendment on that, and that was to include the job descriptions provided by Dean Moskis for the different roles of the town manager, the library director, and the board of trustees.
Mhm.
Is there any other concern or question about the May 13th minutes? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
Jen? Okay. Any further discussion? All right, Suzette?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Nan,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We can't, we're gonna, well, I'm going to wait for the approval of the notes of the June 3rd meeting. Let me just think a second on this. Well, we can approve those notes. We just have to take the votes on everything again. But that's okay because it'll be part of the record is what took place that day. And in taking the new votes, whoever makes a motion, makes a second, that'll have to be recorded on the June 11th minutes.
Matt, do
Yeah.
the notes need to be approved? Because per the letter you just read, they're being attached as an addendum to today's meeting minutes.
The only reason I think, Jen, that they should be is that they're under their draft now. And we can approve that this is what we did at that June 3rd meeting, and then we're verifying it on the June 11th.
Fine, just was clarifying.
Good
Okay.
point.
So do we have a motion to approve the June 3rd notes?
I motion to approve the notes.
Okay, Mary, a second?
I'll make a second.
That's Nan.
Okay. Okay, Nan? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Is there any discussion about those? Okay, then we're taking a vote to add these notes to the June 11th meeting.
Mhm.
Suzette?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Okay. Mary?
Yes.
So those notes are now done. Now, what we're going to do is go through, we did the vote on the May 13th minutes, and we did the reorganization. So there are 3 other votes to take.
Mhm.
We'll get back to any bill schedule questions or anything else after we retake these notes. A vote. I mean, I would restate the fact that I talked to Rob Favini and then received a note from him saying that it looked like that our strategic plan was in good shape, that we met all the elements that were required, and that a formal letter would be coming. Barbara Olevres has asked for us to do a post-mortem survey. And what I'm asking for is a motion to participate in that post-mortem survey of the strategic plan.
I motion that we do that.
I second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Jen, second by Mary.
Yep.
I'd like
Correct.
to ask a question about this. Can you clarify exactly what it means by that?
Whoops.
Yes, what she's going to do, Jean, is I think I sent that material to everybody in preparation for the June 3rd meeting. But what she's going to do is a survey to all of us to see, including Julie and you, to see what we thought about the process, what went well and what could have gone better and what didn't go very well.
Mhm.
She's going to survey us, and then she'll give us a report. I have no idea what the questions are going to be. All right, we have to take a vote on that. Suzette?
Yes.
Okay. Nan?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Okay. We had a discussion, the next item, we had a discussion on the tactics and the action plan letter related to the strategic plan. And what we decided to do, and Jen, you can clarify this for me, we're sending Julie 2 letters, one with the tactics and action that we would like to take as a board of trustees. And we are sending one about what we are suggesting for the library staff to consider.
Correct.
And those
We
were
had
all generated. I'm sorry.
Correct. We had discussed that we could pull out the Board of Trustee pieces from what was drafted with Sage Consulting and that tactics list. So we could provide both with Julie so she could discuss all of them, but also know what we were hoping to do within our purview as the board.
Right. Okay. I think that anybody else have anything to add to that? I think that that covers what we did with that. Is there a motion then to do that, to have those letters sent to Julie?
I motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Mary, is there a second?
I'll second, Matt.
Jen. Any further discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, Suzette,
Yes.
Nan,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
and Mary.
Yes.
Okay, so that's approved. Then in regard to the strategic plan, it says on the strategic, this is affirming what we've already said before. But we had said that we were going to place on the Auburn Public Library website the strategic plan, including A through F. And that we would also have copies, hard copies available for people who wanted them. We won't make great numbers of those because we have no idea who's interested, and if we need to, we can make more copies. But we will have those bound. Suzette has offered to do that for us, and Deb Grimo has the equipment to be able to do that. Is there a motion to reaffirm that?
I motion that we get the strategic plan on the Auburn Public Library website, including Appendix A through F, and that we have a handful of copies available at the circulation desk for anyone who wishes to review a copy.
I second that.
Mr. Chair, I
Sorry.
have a comment. Oops. Shoot.
Who seconded that motion?
Mary?
I'm seconding it, but Dean has a comment.
Have a comment, please?
Yep.
I don't
Sure.
see anywhere here on the agenda that you're taking a vote about putting this on the website. And I have
I'm
strong
sorry?
objections to that. I don't see any place here on the agenda where you're taking a vote to put this on the website, and I have very strong objections to Appendix F on the website.
I accept that, Gene. That's not on this agenda for this meeting. It was on the agenda it was not on that agenda either, but the conversation came up to reaffirm it. It's not an original vote. It reaffirms the vote that we already took on May 13th.
That's right.
Well, I object to it, and I don't see, it should still be, if you just took a vote, it should be on the agenda. And I have very strong objections to Appendix F being on the website, and so will the union.
Okay.
Okay, I understand that. It is true that we do not have that on the agenda. Rather than getting into a big argument about this, we'll hold this item. We've done, well, actually, we already affirmed that.
Yes, I agree.
I'm
So
sorry,
it's not like
what did
it's
you
brand
say,
new. We affirmed that at the May 13th meeting. I understand all of the objections. One of the things that I would say, Gene, is it almost seems anathema to a library to censor materials,
Yes.
reading
I'm not
materials.
talking
The
about
work that we did.
materials. You didn't
Pardon?
send it to the MBLC. It does not belong on the website. And I have
That is,
strong objections, and I'm just telling you right now that the union will as well.
I thought the last meeting we had that we, Jennifer and I went back and forth a little bit, and I thought our final resolution was to make it available at the desk, that we were not putting it on the website. Am I
Our vote is that on the June 3rd meeting was
Right.
to do that.
Okay.
A through F. That was the final, well, but that also reaffirmed the vote we took on May 13th.
Yeah.
And Gina,
So I would like
understand.
to chime in. I would note that I don't recall May 13th saying anything about how it would be publicized, just what the final plan was. I
Yeah.
think our best course of action right now would be for me to rescind my motion. I rescind my motion, and that we discuss this in July.
Okay.
Okay. But we've heard all of the objections to this before. And we have exactly 11 lines of material that only say very clearly what lots of people suggested. That's all it says. There's nothing negative in any of it. It's just simply, which we took out. We took out the entire appendix that had a few negative comments.
Mhm.
We lost all the positive comments, but we took those out. So we can get back to this July 3rd. I'm sure that I heard the objections before, and we took out so much of Appendix F, and there's so much good material in there about the building and things that they want. So there are a few lines that patrons had some suggestions about staffing or hiring. Nothing is negative in that,
Mhm.
but that's okay. We can argue that again in July. So it'll be the third time that we've done that.
Matt, can I just interject something?
Yes.
I think part of our discussion at the last meeting was, and it was a colorful discussion in the sense that we were concerned, the outcome was we were concerned that by removing information that was provided by the people who volunteered to have input, it was in fact censoring. So I just want to reiterate that the censorship would be to not allow the voice of individuals who participated in our survey in Auburn, our town, members.
That content is available if people ask for public documents under the Open Documents Law, and they could have all of that. It does not represent the library well to have Appendix F on the website. I very strongly disagree with having it on there, and I'm just giving you a heads up that the union will have strong disagreements as well. If you want it in the bound copies, I don't have an objection to that. But the website is public. It's on along the same lines as submitting it to the MBLC. And we had
I talked to the people at the MBLC. It's not the same, Gene.
Well,
They understand.
I don't recall seeing a vote to rescind that, and that's fine.
I'm
We
sorry?
just go there anyways. This doesn't
We're
belong.
not taking that vote today. That is correct. But we
And we
have
don't need
taken
to
the vote.
vote for me to rescind my motion. I can take that off without a vote.
That's correct.
We can
You're
have a
right.
conversation
You can
in
rescind that.
July,
So
fresh
we're
eyes.
finished with that discussion. That's
Fresh
right.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to check on the Roberts rules on that business of simply not, what we're trying to do with the June 11th meeting is to confirm what we did on May 3rd.
That's right.
June 3rd.
We're not doing it, but that's what we were supposed to do.
Right.
I think that takes care of everything on this, except, Gene, if you want to talk anything about the director's report.
Well, sure. You've had the director's report for a little while, and I know you've probably looked at it, so I'll just review it briefly. I'll add a few things to it. Under the Auburn Cultural Council, so we did run the programs that I had repurposed the grant for $700. We had about 180 people participate for the petunia program and the tomato plant program. We did some virtual programs, and then they had those to take home. So it was very successful. The Cultural Council is very happy about that. We're getting ready to do the summer reading program. I've heard from a couple of the schools. So we're figuring out how to get the books to the children and make sure they stay in Auburn and they're able to return them and so forth. Just to give you a little update on our Bovid reopening phase. We started our curbside pickup this week. It's going very smoothly. It's a tremendous amount of work. We sanitize the book trucks. We wear masks and gloves to pull the books. We wrap them in paper so that they're not actually touched. And a lot of steps go into it. But then we've had them put out for curbside pickup. We make appointments with the people. We have to call them. Usually when you have holds, you get an email notification, but that's been suspended and we have to make appointments with them anyways. Happy. I've been speaking to a lot of patrons about when our next phases are, and everybody's very understanding. They want to come back to the library, very understanding. So I haven't had anybody, complain or be unhappy. They're more than willing to work with us in what we have to do to get material. We anticipate in a couple of weeks to start the in-returns process in library. The library has to be ready for that with plexiglass, and there's a lot of materials that I've had to order which are becoming scarce. It's hard to even find them. So when we do that, they'll be returning in the library at point of return instead of it putting in the drop box, where then we would have to go in there and separate out. We'll be separating them out at point of return and checking in and then clearing all their fines that might have accrued. So we're taking all of that, take care of all of that at what time. They have to make appointments, come in one at a time. It'll just be a U-shaped and they exit the building right after that. There's no browsing or any other in-library use. So at that point, we'll be doing curbside pickup and in-library returns. And it's a tremendous amount of work. So we're stretched pretty thin, but we can handle it pretty well. It's a good plan and it's great staff. So we're just moving forward with the process as best we can.
It does sound like a lot of work, that's for sure.
Questions? I'm happy to discuss it. Do you have any?
How long do you think that phase will be?
For the phases?
Yep.
I anticipate another 2 weeks for curbside pickup, but curbside pickup will continue throughout the summer, even when we're open for browsing, because I think people are going to actually like it. So in effect, we'll be trying to run it inside and out, but that's okay. We do have a very short, small staff, and a couple of people have gone on vacation, so we're going to have to back it up a little bit because we can't handle it without everybody. But I'm hoping by June, in about 2 weeks, we will start the in-library returns. That's anticipated to go for 2 or 3 weeks. After that, we will start appointments for people to come into the library, occupancy limits, masked, gloves, very limited opportunities inside the library. But at the same time, they could return their materials and they can still do curbside pickup. So we're actually going to be running quite a few different processes at the same time. But I think that will serve our patrons best, and the staff feels that way too.
Jean, I know there's so much news happening of all the different components of the phases, so my apologies for not recalling specifics.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Is this our plan, or is this also coinciding with the state is recommending? Because I know phase 2 that we're in now is then sub-phased, and I'm just curious if your in-library return is an Auburn piece and other libraries you're hearing from, or if that's a recommendation from the state and I'm just remembering that.
No, there's about 350 libraries in the state. Every single library is unique. So the guidelines from the state are guidelines, and libraries do things in different ways. Some libraries have been collecting materials, but they're all in a big quarantine bag. So we chose to do it this way so that we can separate Auburn out, quarantine them for probably 2 days, then they get them right back on our shelves. The library resource option is not going to happen anytime soon. So in essence, you really can only borrow the materials from each library that are in the library. So we follow all the state guidelines for preparing the building, and we wear masks all day and all those other things. So every library is doing the same thing, but not necessarily at the same time, and nobody's doing all of it at one time.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Good. Was there any question on the bill? There wasn't much of a bill schedule, so there's
No.
No, I think
question on that.
water.
Yeah,
Water.
I think there was one.
Yeah, just to reiterate, the budgets have been frozen, hiring freeze, budget cuts, more budget cuts coming. So there's some challenges ahead. I guess I could add this, I had to calculate about $11,000 worth of COVID preparation materials just for the rest of this fiscal year. And that will be paid for under the CARES grant. So that goes through the town, and there's a consultant managing all that. So, but it was getting hard to find materials. You have to have stanchions and, lots of masks and sanitizer and flooring signs and, all kinds of things. So, but that doesn't come from the town budget at this point. Or the library
Who
budget.
does that grant? Who does the granting?
The CARES grant through the government for COVID-related expenses.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else on that? Well, we had a meeting of a subcommittee on actually everybody was there, or many people were there, on the Friends reinstatement. And I do have a couple of things from Phil Shea. We had a chance to spend some time talking about it. One of the questions we had was whether it ought to be called a corporation, a foundation, or an organization. And we are stuck with the fact that to be reinstated, we have to use what we did before, which is Friends of the Auburn Public Library Incorporated. So we are a corporation, and that's that. That adds a little complexity, but he said not too much. I talked to him about the sample from that Eagleston Library, Boston branch, and I asked him about that section where it says no members, and he said you can do something like that, or you can say that the voting, except for of the board of directors, and even that can be only the board of directors, and you really don't have any members. And he said it does. He says it does make sense. So that's something that we'll be working out. I'm working on that business with directors and officers, and Suzette and Paula are working on a whole lot of preliminary items in the potential bylaws for the Friends. Now, is there somebody else that would like to be involved?
Yeah.
In
I should have, Matt. I should have been there, Nan.
We haven't
Okay.
gotten together
All right.
yet. Monday afternoon.
Yeah, give me a job.
Okay, good. So I'll contact you on that. For a subcommittee meeting, we cannot have any more than 3 board members, or else it becomes a board meeting. Now, any board member is welcome to join because we'll do them all on GoToMeeting, same way, to join that, but you can't participate. Otherwise, we've got with the open meeting law, and it's supposed to certainly be. Now, I think Gene or David could be on those meetings and participate, but any more than 3 board members cannot be talking. So that's one limitation. But at least for now, we'll work on this, to maybe have something available. We'll try to for the July meeting. I'll try to make sure. I know I have to post all those. It doesn't matter whether we have a quorum or not. We have to post it. So I might have to do what I did for the meetings when we were doing the clerical work on a lot of the strategic plan. And sometimes we only had one person and sometimes we had two, but we had to post it in case more people came and it would look like we were having a meeting, whether we were only doing, even if we said clerical work, which we did on some of those agendas. So I just want to be very careful about all of that. Nan, are you all right sometime next Wednesday for a subcommittee?
In the evening, yes.
Okay. And then Paula and Suzette, what you've got to do is let me know when you want to meet so that I can post it. And I've got to have at least 2 days before you want to meet.
Well, I mean, Suzette and I were going back and forth depending on when we had our grandchildren, so we came up with Monday afternoon. I mean, I'm still working next week, so.
Monday afternoon?
Monday afternoon was our plan that worked for both of us.
Okay, what time?
Suzette?
We didn't set a time. 1 or 2?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock is
Is that
fine.
good? Okay, so we'll
Now,
do it at 1
does this have to
o'clock.
be a virtual? Does this have to be a virtual
Yeah.
meeting, or
Yeah, remember, I sent that note out. I sent so many out. You might not have seen it, but I talked to Julie about the fact we were planning on doing that meeting in the library parking lot, and Gene and Dave offered some help with the chairs and tables and things. But she said that the problem is if we have that meeting, no meeting can have more than 10 people. Outside, inside, doesn't matter. And if we ended up with a couple of people coming to observe the meeting, we could end up with 10 or 11, and then you can't have the meeting. So we have to have a virtual meeting. We should do that virtual meeting by sitting around outside, but it still has to be virtual, and that gets to be crazy, I think, to try to do that. So it'll just be a straight virtual meeting. And what I'll do is I'll set up that one for Suzette and Paula for Monday afternoon at 1, and Nan and I will have one on Wednesday at 6.
Okay.
Unless you wanted any earlier, Nan.
I think it could be earlier, if you prefer.
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you want to do is fine.
Let's see, I can't do, did we say, I can't do Tuesday. We have graduation.
No, you don't have to worry about Tuesday. If you're doing Monday with
Monday,
Suzette, that's enough.
So Monday we can still do Monday at sufficient notice?
Wait a minute.
I don't
If I
know.
get it in tomorrow, if I get that in tomorrow,
No,
I
Friday.
can't do it
No.
Monday.
No.
Not enough time. And you can't do Tuesday. Can you do Wednesday?
At what time, 6?
Whatever the two of you decide. It's
Well,
up to you to
is it going to be
Paul.
2 simultaneous meetings?
Yes, there will be. No, I don't care. What time do you want your meeting on Wednesday?
Can you just give me the date of Wednesday?
Yeah.
17th?
It's the 17th.
17th.
17th. Can we not join in on the meeting with you and Nan, or no?
No, we can't. It's
Okay.
too many. You have more than 3.
Is Wednesday night okay with you, Suzette? What do you want Wednesday? The beginning of it.
We all know that there would be 4 of us.
You can't. You can't do it 4 because it's a subcommittee. We have to have 2 separate meetings. Matt and Nan are meeting on Wednesday at 6.
They can do it at the same time. Yeah.
Okay.
Same time,
That's
6
fine.
o'clock.
On Wednesday, Paula and Suzette?
Wednesday, the 17th at
Wednesday.
6.
Okay.
How are we
Okay.
going to delineate them?
I'll have to, there'll be 2 separate meetings. I'll have to have 2 separate postings, and I'll send you and Suzette, well, I'll have to say the subcommittee for, director, no, for, I'll list the 8 items. And then
Okay.
I'll say
Okay.
subcommittee for, director and officers. And then I'll have. And you can go on to whatever meeting you want.
Okay.
You have to be on your meeting. But anybody else can go on whatever meeting they, you want to see. But you can't, you just make sure that we can't, there's no, well, if I can find a way to either have Suzette or Paula be the point person for the meeting, I'll talk to you about that. I'm not going. We don't have to take the time up now to do that. That's okay. But we'll take care of that, and I'll get those done tomorrow. And there'll be enough information on each of those sheets to know what the subcommittee is doing.
Okay.
So, any question about
Okay.
it, right?
Yep, that's good.
So, all right. Is there anything else that we've got to, oh, I know what we need to do. No, we already approved we did not approve the meeting minutes of June 3rd. So we'll need a motion to do that.
Matt, we approved them as
Yes.
a draft. We approved June 3rd as a draft, addendum to this already.
Mhm.
Okay, good. That's fine. That's good. All right. Well, then I think we've got everything taken care of. The meeting on July 8th will, I think, Jen, you were going to have those 2 different notes to Julie, right?
Yes, I'll have them for the next meeting.
Okay, good. And then we'll have the bylaw conversation by all of us from the materials that we will try to get to the Board of Trustees at least 3 days ahead of time. All
Matt,
right, is there anything else?
yeah, there's one more thing.
Yes?
I had raised the point at our last meeting, if there was some way that we could recognize Dr. Mary Ellen Brunel for her
Yes.
contribution to our strategic plan.
Yes? I thought you were going to try to write something up on that.
Well, right, but I just wanted to bring it up as part of our last meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we didn't vote on that, but we can include that as part of what we discussed. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Okay, is there anything else?
And in that same vein, I did ask to discuss consideration for I'm losing my words, respect, civility policy to be established by the board for the public library in light of current events and just general camaraderie and civility amongst all, and that we have something with that specifically stated for the library.
Great.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Anything else? Well, then I think we're in pretty good shape.
Okay.
I
Motion
make
to
a
adjourn.
motion that we adjourn.
I second that motion.
Suzette, Mary?
Yep.
We don't need any vote on that. Very well. I'll see you at the bylaw subcommittee's meeting, whoever's there, and I'll have whatever communications I need on anything else along the way, and see you July 8th.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Good
You.
Good night.
night.